Good afternoon and welcome to the Foreign Investors on India's weekly report. We start this week with Warburg Pincus, New York-based investor group which has announced 8 billion investment in India over the next 10 years. It has already invested over 3.8 billion over the last 20 years in Indian companies like Mahindra Bank. Executives from the company said they should see the investment double in the next 10 years. India is an interesting and compelling investment region for Warburg Pincus. The World Bank has signed financing agreement for a Nagaland health project. The agreement is for $48 million and will benefit some 600,000 people in the Nagaland, one of the most backward region of the country. The World Bank funding will help complement and support the existing health programs, including the National Health Mission for that region. Spire's research and consultancy Japneet Singh give us more details of how he sees developments following the demonetization and how foreign direct investment will increase in the country.
Hi, my name is Japneet Singh. I am the Deputy CEO for Spire Research and Consulting. We are a global market research solution provider with a target of Asia and a strong presence in India as well. Basically, my opinion of the demonetization event that's really happened is that in the long term, this is really going to be a positive thing, as the basic foundation for FDI is really being built. It's undeniable that there will be some short-term chaos, some short-term pains. The degree of transparency and the degree of ease of doing business is really going to improve. Demonetization is one of the events. The GST organization is another event. There's a lot of other bills that are in the pipeline. Some of these have been already passed that will really together combine to have a big cleanup effect of India. And a lot of the concerns that FDI investors have about lack of transparency, corruption, ambiguity in doing business. A lot of these concerns are now going to be addressed in India.
Cost of doing business is coming down following these transparencies. How will that make India competitive in the global market?
I think India actually is relatively well positioned in terms of cost of doing business, even otherwise. But what this is going to do is actually increase the efficiency of doing business, which of course has an impact on costs. So we should see a lot less wastage, a lot less leakage of funds for the foreign investors, and that will really have a positive impact on cost of doing business.
How do you think this demonetization has aided or improved on the incentives that the foreigners should see in India?
I think with demonetization, the big area that has been addressed is the degree of risk, and a lot of that risk is going to decrease with the returns being very similar or being stable to what they are. Once, of course, the dust really settles. So it's really a very good news for investors into India.
Yeah, businesses have been rather concerned about borrowings at a higher interest rate, and there's big liquidities coming back to the banks. What do you see on the interest rates for business investors and things like that?
Oh, interest rates, I think there's very good news. We've already started seeing, pretty much with immediate effect, interest rates being cut across the board. RBI has adjusted its sort of platform interest rate downwards by about 65 basis points. A lot of the banks are cutting it by 100 basis points, and we should see that trend continuing. So availability of funds from the banks is actually going to be a lot better. The big effect of this demonetization has been that the deposits in the bank coffers have really bloated. Very soon the banks are going to be very eager to start lending this money out and sort of getting business back into normal, and which is why we will see these interest rates drop.
Foreign partnership seeking foreigners are looking at MSME or MSMEs as a partners, and these companies been rather hit by the demonetization. What will be their recovery? How you think they will recover back and be able to partner some of the foreigners who are looking for these medium-sized corporations?
Actually, there are a lot of very, very good MSMEs or medium-sized companies in India, and one of the side effects of demonetization is going to be that they will be strapped for cash. A lot of their business has been in cash in the past, and they will see some liquidity crunch, which is great news for foreign investors who want to come in and infuse cash. The trick, of course, is to find a right, reliable partner.
We also have Massa Group of France and STL Systems of Germany. Executives from this group have explained to us the technologies that they have and that it is being adapted or will be adapted to suit the Indian requirement. We met both companies at the MilSim, a military simulator exhibition held in Singapore last week. The executives will give us an outline what they have and how they are willing to adapt the systems for use in Indians' armed forces.
So in India, we are represented by a local company, a reseller company that has built up a quite good level of skills and knowledge in the usage of our system. And they are in frequent contact with the Indian Army, the Wardeck, for presentation and demonstration of the systems. And also they have done some minor proof of concept exercises with the system. So this is where we are in India today, and we hope that in the close future we will be able to work closer together with the Indian Army to provide the system for the training of the battalion and brigade and division level command posts in the Indian Army. What is important also today with the situation we see worldwide is the role of the armies in different countries today is not only peacekeeping, but it's also internal security in different conflicts and natural disasters, to train together with other forces like the civilian forces, the police and the firefighters, together to save lives in complex scenarios internally.
Are you able to adapt the system for the requirement of the Indian Army?
Exactly, that's a very good question. The system is delivered with a default content that can then be used for the adaptation for each country's specific needs. And this is typically a project that we recently did for the army in Bangladesh, worked together with them in the adaptation of the content. So the Indian Army would have their own system with their own content, with their own weapon systems, with their own units and their own doctrine.
How is this Massa simulation system being used in other armies in Asia and in elsewhere like North Africa?
So the system is mainly used for the training of army command posts. Mm-hmm. So training in tactical scenarios, including operations other than war, simulating both the logistic side of the scenario and the tactical side of the scenario. The system is used today, as I mentioned, in North Africa, also France, Bangladesh, New Zealand, Australia, and we also here in Singapore have a customer today using the system.
Can you elaborate on the success of the systems in these countries?
Yes, absolutely. We think it's very important for our new customers to be reinsured, to know that we already using the system is well used already. And what is also important is the community of users. Everybody is contributing to the success of the product, contributing with new ideas about the evolution of the product. And every time we do a project with a new country, there is always new ideas that we are putting into the system, and everybody is then benefiting of these new functionalities.
Yeah. Can you further go on to tell us about the scope of the systems in India, the usage scope of the system, and what do you really expect or anticipate?
Yeah. So what we are hoping is that we will be able to supply to the Indian Army our solution when they are training their command posts, the officers in the battalion, brigade and division level. It's a long process and it's ongoing, and we hope that this will be able to move on.
Hello, my name is Kama, and I'm coming from SL Systems from, and our product is to develop and to produce measurement systems, underwater measurement sensors. We are main supplier for the German Navy. We measure, our sensors have the capability to measure magnetic signals, electrical signals, acoustic signals, and pressure and temperature underwater. All signals are very important to get the signature of the submarines and coast and surface vessels. One example of our sensors is the multi-influence sensors combined for magnetic, electric, and acoustic, and all emitted signals from the submarines can be measured. Afterwards, we have here the software where we can make the signal analysis on the right side here. The signal analysis, which is very important for the Navy operators. The second thing is we have as well the possibility via using our sensor experience since several years to build up power and coast protection system. We have here the possibility to build a belt, magnetic belt, a sensor belt for special area. This we supply to different countries, and we have different requests for proposals and different interest for such projects.
How do you want to deal with India? Are you going?
India is for us a big market. We know the potential in India, the high potential for India, and we are working already with two companies on projects for defense in the defense area with India.
Can you name the projects and the companies?
This I would not make now because I don't know if this it's our customer, if they would be okay for them or not.
What is this technology? Can you describe the technology?
Technology is six sensor measurement systems, as I described in the first brochure.
Yeah.
And it's for the defense market.
Where would this be deployed in India?
Deployed in Navy area, close to Mumbai, and several smaller projects on land, on shore, and they're using our sensors already.
Defense Minister Manor Parrikar has called on the MSMEs and private sector to join industry heavyweights and build India as a hub for defense industries. We end this report with an announcement from Anchanto, a Singapore-based NRI-owned company which has developed an e-marketplace app. It's called SelluSeller. Anchanto will reach out to tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 cities in India with SelluSeller, making it affordable for across the board small to big traders, marketplace operators, and e-commerce dealers to trade openly on a platform. SelluSeller was launched in Singapore on January 17 and will have 5,000 e-retailers or customers across the globe. Its main focus first is Southeast Asia, India, Japan, and Korea, but the scope is wider, its executive said. Argento is in talks with global retailers and brand marketing companies to bring in international products through e-market or the platform called SelluSeller for Southeast Asian and Indian consumers and buyers. We see you again with another report next week.